I have been selling this book, Zan Azli and Wan Chun Hong's Guide to Indie Filmmaking, which is published by MPH. For a while now. It's a really good book if you want to be a filmmaker, whether it's for YouTube, social media, TV, film, cinema, whatever. This is the book to get. I'm going to make it more accessible and more affordable to all of you because I believe that everybody needs to become a filmmaker. The more filmmakers we have in the world, I think this world will be a better place to live in. Now it's available as an electronic book download on my website. I'm going to link it here. It's really cheap, it's really affordable. It's only 5 ringgit if you want to get the ebook version. Okay, 5 ringgit. It doesn't really cost much, right? It's just a little bit of something for me. I mean, it did take a lot of work to write. Each chapter of this book talks about one part of the filmmaking process. And for each chapter as well, I interview a local filmmaker. It's only 5 ringgit. It's only 5 ringgit. You're watching and listening to the Fat Bidin Film Club, and I'm assuming I'm Zan Azli.
And I'm Syah Ibstawan.
And as usual, every week we watch a local film and we review it. And this week we're not watching a local film and we're not reviewing that.
Because it's Chinese New Year season!
Yeah, it's Chinese New Year!
So we're gonna watch our 5 Chinese New Year ads as we do every year.
Yes.
Yeah.
Did we watch 5 ads?
Yes, we watched 5 ads.
I didn't feel like we watched 5 ads.
It's just like one long ad.
Yeah.
The same theme.
Okay, so
we watched 5 ads.
we watched 5 ads.
That felt like one long ad with the same theme.
Yeah.
Huh. So let's go through one by one, okay?
Okay.
And maybe you can spot the similarity.
Half a step to the left. Oh, okay. Hey, not too much. Ah, okay, like that. Okay, so a little bit off. Ah, okay.
So the first one.
Oh, what was the first one?
The first one, actually, what was the first one?
The first one we watched was McDonald's.
No! The first one we watched was
McDonald's?
DG.
No, McDonald's, then only watch DG.
No. Okay,
Yeah.
fine lah, McDonald's.
Yeah.
Okay, the first one we watched was McDonald's. So it's about this daughter who's saying that her mother is a hairdresser and then...
But makes outrageous hairstyles.
in a small town. So every year her mother makes like outrageous hairstyles lah as like a Chinese New Year promo or whatever. And she is like the victim of her mother's experimentation.
And she loved it.
And she usually enjoys
she loves it because she was a little kid.
After they do hair already, then they go to McDonald's and eat Prosperity Burger. Even though last time there was no Prosperity Burger, but never mind.
It depends how long last time was.
Well, I don't know. By the looks of the hairstyle, it looked like it was in the 80s. There were no Prosperity Burger then. Anyway.
I was around in the 80s.
Was there Prosperity Burger?
Yes.
Okay, fine. Anyway.
There was Prosperity Burger.
So fine lah. So every year she'll go eat Prosperity Burger. And then, after that, she gets to a point where she's like slightly more grown up. And then she's like, I don't want to do this anymore because
she got made fun of.
her. Yeah.
Boys made fun of her
So then
hairstyle.
she stopped letting her mother do her hair until she was an adult. One day she realized that, oh, my mother's getting old. So she asked her mother to do her hair again because she doesn't know how long more her mother will keep the salon open because her mother is old. And some traditions need to be kept alive because
like
that is what keeps us together.
The entire family gets their hair done by the mother for Chinese New Year. Except for her.
Because she don't want already.
Yeah, but eventually, okay lah, she took it lah.
Yeah. Maybe when her mother is like old.
Look, I don't know. What did you think about the ad?
I thought it was very unique. They haven't done the small town hairdresser auntie angle before, or if they have, I don't remember. So I thought that was nice and fresh.
Sure. But the theme was still the theme was still very common.
Yeah, the family or whatever, that was
still very
quite
common. Oh, don't forget your family, whatever it is, you know.
Even as you grow, So
They might be gone, you know.
but that was nice lah. I don't know.
Fine.
it
I prefer
was-
eating a prosperity burger than watching that lah.
Yeah, so it was okay lah. It was fine. Nice new angle, but same theme.
old, same
But I
old,
mean, it's Chinese New Year. I don't really know what other theme they would. It seems like for the past 2 years they want to stress on that, right? It's
No,
family. It's either family or Zoom. Or like
Zoom celebrations,
Zoom celebrations,
or helping one another
or
because of the
helping one
pandemic.
another because of the
MCO.
pandemic. And then this year it's just like, okay, you can finally celebrate Chinese New Year again, so please don't forget
Your family. Because people forgot them during the MCO, we cannot meet.
Yeah. So there was that. And then we move on to the DG one. So the DG one is this young girl who is in a big family who owns
run a restaurant.
So the entire family runs a Chinese restaurant lah together. And the family is very loud, very brash, and very noisy all the time. And then her parents die. And her aunties and uncles basically raise her lah.
That one particular uncle lah.
And then she becomes like very educated, goes to like some white people's school. And during the pandemic, the restaurant is...
a white people's school who opened franchise in Malaysia.
Whatever lah.
Which is what happens in Malaysia now.
Yeah lah, she goes to a semi-white people's school. And
So
then
many white
she thinks she's
people.
very smart lah, basically. And then during the pandemic, she like gets a crash course on like digital marketing or whatever. So she proposes it to her family members.
She watches a YouTube video.
And her family members are like, no, we cannot change the restaurant name, we cannot do this, and they don't want to listen to her idea. Then she's very upset because she feels like nobody is supporting her efforts to try to keep the
because
restaurant alive.
and she says what? This is business, nothing to do with the family. It's business.
This is business, nothing to do with the family.
But then after that, there's a
after that,
flashback
she
thing.
remembers that her father is always saying that family
Family
is more
is
important,
more important than
everything.
anything.
So she goes and apologizes to her uncle who scolds her.
But the uncle don't want to accept her apology.
Then the auntie also says, you don't forget she's family whatever So,
She's been waiting here to apologize to you for 4 hours. Oh.
yeah. So and then at the end of the day, the uncle comes back to sort of help with the family because family is more important than anything.
And then they remember that the uncle had promised the father to take care of her.
Yeah,
and
because
all that
family
kind of
is
thing
more
lah.
important than everything. In case you didn't get the message, they say it like 4 times. Okay?
But one thing was interesting about it, not much difference than the McDonald's one. McDonald's one is a little bit funny lah. But this one was a little bit different in the sense that I thought the uncle would, you know how stereotypically ads are like this, the uncle would be like, oh yeah, so it's okay, accept apology, then all become warm and what. But the uncle decided not to accept the apology.
He just came back.
He got angry at first, like, fuck you. He didn't say fuck you.
Say stupid lah.
He said, stupid lah, you don't know anything. So that kind of felt a little bit real lah. You know, there was a little bit of reality there. Yeah, but
Then later on,
it just became
comes
unreal.
back around. No, but I really think that was quite
okay.
realistic
Yeah.
because I don't know, my mother is also like that. She's very family is more important than anything. And then whenever so she's the oldest, right? And she's got like 6 other siblings, and throughout the years her siblings have, especially during Chinese New Year, like gotten into fights lah. It was this small family drama, and she will always use that lah. So whatever it is, y'all are still family. You just shut up and sit down and eat together.
Yeah, which is okay.
So
yeah.
it's how she resolves all conflict lah in the household, which I find a little bit toxic because, you know, sometimes your family is toxic and abusive and you just need to not be around them.
No lah, I think
So
you still have to find a way to reconcile.
nope. I think if they're really abusive, you can just like not do it.
It's a generation thing, you know.
Yeah, I don't think that you should constantly be abused by your family. That is not healthy and it's not good for you.
What about friends?
So-
Friends who are toxic, and you need to cut ties with friends who are toxic. You do that.
So there you go. Yeah, so that was the DG ad. Moving on. What was the third one we watched? TNB. So the TNB one was about this auntie who feels like she had like a string of bad luck, and then she bumps into the Sifu who sells her like some expensive bracelet that will change her luck around.
Yeah.
But then, surprise, it doesn't change her luck around. So she emo already. She go home, she tell everybody, hey, I very suay this year, so I'm not going to come to your house for Chinese New Year. And then she leave group, which I thought was so like, wow, auntie. That was like really 21st century drama, peak drama. Like, auntie left group. Okay. So she leaves the group. The next morning she wakes up, everybody's come to her house and said, oh, never mind lah, your luck very bad. We come and change your luck for you. So they decorate her house, she throws the pineapple, you know, and all of this like really like nice things. Then she realizes, oh, actually I am not unlucky, I'm very lucky because I have my
Family.
ha.
Yeah. But one thing that I like about this one is that they throw superstition out the door.
Yes.
It's bullshit.
I love that.
Yeah.
I love that.
You know, Chinese New Year, I purposely wear black to show that nothing bad is going to happen anyway if I wear black. You know, it's like, yeah. So I like that fact, and that people sometimes prey on this superstition because at the end of the advertisement, the police caught the sifu who sells the bracelet, the Indian guy, the Malay guy who dropped things on
they all
her.
pakat
Yeah,
together,
and then the Indian guard who took who accused her of shoplifting.
Yeah.
Right, they were all in a conspiracy so that to con people to buy these good luck bracelets to convince them they are having bad luck. You know, yeah. So yeah.
Yeah, that was very
You know?
nice, and I think it really shows these superstitious aunties, like, you know, actually
Stupid. You know,
it doesn't really do anything.
every single culture has superstition, and they are all stupid.
Blanketly stupid.
Yeah. So
Yeah. So that was nice. I
Yes.
agree. I really like that.
Yeah.
That bit of it.
But then people will say, but culture, superstition is culture, and you cannot say culture is wrong.
Is it really culture though? Is it?
Yeah.
No. Anyway.
But yeah, anyway.
Yeah lah. So there's that. The fourth one was
Mr. DIY.
no RHB.
RHB.
Okay, so it's about this father and son who are walking through their village.
So this is
And then-
based on a true story.
And the village is like filthy, like super dirty. There's rubbish everywhere, and then this boy is like, maybe people are just irresponsible, and you know, maybe if we clean up, then everybody will also have to follow and clean up. And
the
his father is
father's
just
like,
like,
"You can't
go
change
home,
the
go home
world.
and decorate the
Let's go
house.
home and
You go
decorate."
help your mother, because he is obviously jaded and old,
Yeah.
and he's like,
but he wasn't rude to the son
Yeah,
though. He
he's
was
just
very
like
nice. He's just
very
he
evasive
said,
lah.
he said, "Come, let's go home, decorate the house." And then there was this narrative, his
Yeah.
own voice going on saying that, can
it's
one
very
person
hard
really
to
change the world? It's
explain
hard.
to
It's
children
hard. Yeah,
that
explain to children.
one person doesn't change the
Yeah.
world.
But then the innocence of a child eventually makes it happen.
Because
right?
he said the answer is very simple. So the boy, because the father don't want to lie him, right? So
He
he
called
goes
his
and
friends.
finds his friend, and he's like, hey, maybe the two of us should do it. Then he said, oh, only the two of us are. Then his friend said, oh, we see how.
Then
And
in
then
the
the
end,
next
all
day
the
he
children,
goes-
all his friends came.
Yeah, all the children come and clean up the entire village lah, basically.
Yeah, then the father went looking for him.
Yeah.
Then they saw, it's like, oh shit, yeah, actually all it takes is one person. You know,
A
innocence
group
of a child lah.
People, anyway.
You know?
Yeah, and then the father also goes and helps, and then all these other parents come and help lah. And then they basically clean up the village lah. So it's based on a true story of a village in Teluk Intan where they had like a waste management crisis, and then 10 little
10 kids in the neighborhood.
cleaned up the village.
And the last slide in the ad was these real 10 kids lah, which was nice.
Yeah, which is really
you know?
nice.
But I it's great because when I think about this ad, I see like the younger generation is going to change. They're going to do something for the country. But then when they start growing up and they become activists and they become vocal, killed, cannot, no more. You know?
As long as they continue actually doing the work.
Yeah, if they
lah,
continue
and
actually
not
wanting
just
to do
shouting
something.
about it into empty voids, I'm kind of okay with
but
that.
there are a lot of young people like that. They want to do something, but then the system just kills them, and not literally
or
kill
they
lah,
just
but
constantly
yeah.
just talk about doing something but don't actually do
yeah,
it.
it breaks up into two. But I still don't like the system of, putting down activists. People who want to actually do something. But then if you do something, you cannot gather, it's against the law. Oh, cannot do this, it's against the law. Then you kill their spirit.
Then
already.
investigate them lah. Put their families in danger lah. Arrest them lah. Yeah, that's pretty uncool.
Yeah.
So
So the father has a point, The father kind of has a point because he's so jaded. He's grown up already. He's seen this happen.
Yep.
So he sees these kids. Okay lah, let these kids do it. Hopefully their spirit doesn't get killed lah as they get older.
Yep. So don't harass young people and investigate them. It's what we learned from this ad about
Were you so
recycling.
distracted by the Grab guy?
A little bit.
Why? He's not even coming to our house.
I don't know if he's gonna come here anyway. And then, yeah. So that was that ad. But it was nice lah. It was nice. It also kind of reminded me of our neighborhood actually, because I was thinking about how we are friends with our neighbors.
Because of the pandemic.
It's not that our kids are making a change lah. They're not.
They just went out to play.
They're not.
The kids
So-
started becoming friends,
No,
and then in
but
the end,
yeah,
the adults became
but
friends
it
too.
just reminded me of the time when we had lost our dog, and then
Oh, yeah,
it was
yeah.
a public holiday, and we had lost our dog, and we were going around on our bicycles looking for our dog, and
The entire
suddenly
neighborhood, all our neighbors cancelled their public holiday plans
came out
and
and
spent the
helped us
whole
look
day
for our dog.
helped us look for our dog. And it
like,
was great. The whole day.
One of our neighbors, even like after we gave up, two of our neighbors one went on a motorcycle and one went with her daughter on a bicycle
To
run
scour
in the
the neighborhood.
hot sun at 3 o'clock in the afternoon
Until evening,
to
until
find
night.
to find our dog, and it was just really, really nice. And it just really brought me back the memories of that. It was just very, very heartwarming lah, very sweet. So there's that. The final one,
Mr. DIY.
Mr. DIY. So the Mr. DIY ad shows three different three different individuals who are like doing different kind of business. So one is a hairdresser, one is a tailor, and the last one is a chicken rice seller. So all three of them, they're like
It's the Ali Mutu and Ahok, is it?
cancelling their plans lah. They're Ali Mutu and Ahok, but they're
But
not.
they're not called Ali Mutu.
Azlan, Achong, and Ravi.
Yes.
Okay, because they couldn't find another A name that was not. Oh no, but anyway it's Mutu, so there you go. Anyway,
Ada
whatever lah.
seorang kawan namanya.
okay,
Dia juga berkawan namanya.
So Ali Mutu and Ahok, we're calling them that, right? Ali Mutu and
Yeah,
Ahok.
Azlan lah.
Azlan, Achong,
Achong
and
and Ravi.
They all basically like are closing up their plans for
Because of Chinese New Year.
They're like,
So,
sorry lah,
we cannot take
I
any more
cannot
orders.
already, I cannot,
Chicken rice
sorry,
finished
I
already. We're
cannot,
closing shop
cannot.
already. We're closing.
And then they all go back to like kampong, and they all speak Mandarin, which I thought was really nice. So
They all
Azlan
speak
speaks Mandarin, Ravi speaks Mandarin, and then
Achong speaks Mandarin.
Achong obviously speaks Mandarin.
Well, not
Not
obviously.
but
There
Achong
are many
speaks
Chinese
Mandarin.
people who don't speak
So
Mandarin.
we see them like buying oranges lah. Then they
In their
packing
own-
stuff,
in their
packing
own
stuff,
family?
packing stuff. Not together. This
They're
like,
in their separate because
and
they're all
then-
married with kids.
Yeah, and then Ravi
right?
is like driving and singing to his wife.
Ravi has an
stuck in
Indian
a traffic
wife
jam.
who he
And then
speaks Tamil.
suddenly
He
they
speaks Tamil
all-
to the wife.
They all meet at the same place, which means that they all come back like basically to the same place.
And they see this old Chinese auntie and they call her Ma.
And it turns out basically that they're orphans lah. And they've
Yeah.
come back to the orphanage. They give out new clothes to the new orphans.
Yes.
Ravi is giving them haircuts. And then there's like a montage with flashbacks to when they were kids,
Yes.
and all these things that they went through together.
And how they were always being scolded by the auntie.
Yeah.
And then eventually one day they all came together and said, Madam, can we call you Ma?
Yeah, so that was
Yeah.
that lah.
That was very nice. I thought it was very nice.
Yeah.
It's also very funny and also unrealistic in a way lah. How come Ravi can speak Tamil if he grew up in a Mandarin or orphanage?
Wait, you go Tamil school
No, they all went to the same school because they did their homeworks together.
I
Okay, they
don't
did their
know.
homework all together, right? And how come Achong married a Chinese, Ravi married an Indian,
Yeah.
and Azlan married a Malay?
It's like we must still keep the ethnic the racial boundaries even in a multiracial advertisement, okay?
Yeah.
We already let the Melayu and the Indian speak Mandarin, right? Finish.
Yeah.
That is our quota for multiracialness, and the fact that they're all raised by one Chinese woman who may or may not have fed Azlan Babi, I'm just saying.
Who may or may not even know how to speak Malay.
There you
Or
go.
Tamil.
So, alah.
But like that lah. It was okay.
But I don't know. Realistically, I didn't start speaking Malay until I went into UiTM. So who knows? Maybe
Maybe
Azlan
secondary school, you don't speak
to
Malay.
UiTM.
I learned how to speak Malay when I went standard 1.
I didn't really
Yeah.
speak Malay lah, cause I don't know. Yeah, my friends were mostly brown kids, actually. And
No,
everyone
I had
was just
friends of all
spoke
races.
English. Yeah.
I was okay.
So yeah, I know I had other friends too, but I didn't really have Malay friends because they don't want to be friends with me. So yeah, I mean yeah. So like that lah. So
Like now,
who
no?
knows? Who knows what happened to Azlan and Ravi when they left the orphanage? Maybe that's when they started picking up their languages.
It's like our neighborhood, We are their Malay friends because
We
they're
are
all
the
Chinese.
token Malayus.
But then again, they're comfortable with us because we are not really like Malay.
Yeah. Because we also can speak Cantonese.
They speak to us in Cantonese, so how?
So, yeah lah. But we're their Malay friends. Okay?
But they're Malay friends.
We're Malay friends. We're their token Malayus. Yeah. So it was kind of nice, but also kind of
Nah.
gone with the standard template.
Very
format.
normal lah. Yeah.
I would have been more interested if it was I don't know if you remember that Maybank ad. She's like a Sabahan girl or something.
Oh.
And then they are like, the Chinese boys are like making fun of her because they think she's Malay. And then in the end, she gets on the phone and she speaks in Mandarin.
Yeah.
And then there's like a Maybank at the back or something.
Yeah.
That for me was a much better
Yeah.
multiracial ad than this lah. I mean, this had a good storyline, but it just didn't need to be done so generically. One Malaysia, nobody needs that anymore. We can move past all these racial things. Like, okay, the them speaking in Mandarin was already a very good step. Like, but yeah, like you said, why must also still marry a Malay? Why must also still speak Tamil to the wife? You know, maybe if Ravi grew up in a Chinese household, he will speak to his wife in
Mandarin.
Maybe his wife doesn't speak Mandarin, but at least speak English lah. That would be a common.
Or Malay.
Malay
Would be
lah.
more common.
Would be a common language.
If you're
lah.
English, then you're bangsa
but like
bubble lah.
Ravi was a little bit too. Yeah, that may have been a little bit unrealistic lah. But again, I don't know. There are many subplots we could have explored to explain
So
why.
there were glints and hints of nice things, but still quite common.
But more overlaps with not so nice things. But the common theme of all 5 of these ads
family.
and more that you can find are family. So in 2022, I guess what they want you to remember is your family lah, in all shapes and sizes and forms and races, as long as you speak Mandarin. So, yeah, on that wonderful multicultural note, happy Chinese New Year. We tried very hard to find, but we could not find the token Petronas ad of the year.
Oh, how come?
I was really looking forward to shitting on it the way I shat on the Raya one.
If there is, let us know. Give us a link.
Give us the link so that we can make
Don't
a
know why
very
we
special
couldn't find
video
it.
just to shit on it. Special mention to Mei Fen from Private Sapu, who was in a Chinese New Year ad this year. She was in a Watson's Chinese New Year ad, but we didn't review that one because it didn't come up on our.
It did. It was the first one at the top.
Oh,
You
yeah,
just
but
kept
we
on
didn't-
skipping down.
Yeah, we didn't review that one. So
Because of Watson's old blackface thing, is it?
yes, on principle, I don't.
It was a Chinese New Year
support-
thing also, right? That blackface
It
one.
was. I don't support Watson's on principle because of the blackface thing. So, sorry, Mei Fen. I like Mei Fen though. Mei Fen's great. Yeah. So, yeah lah. Like this video. Don't like this video. Tell us what other Chinese New Year ads you would like us to watch.
How would you make a Chinese New Year ad? Let us know.
Yes, that.
Wow.
And if you can find one that isn't about family, please let us know.
And isn't about race.
Doesn't involve an Ali Mutu Ahok formula.
Isn't a tearjerker. Isn't a...
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. So let us know. Subscribe to us on all our social media platforms at
Bidin.
or go to fatbidin.com to get everything. You've been watching and listening.
to the Fat Bidin Film Club. I'm assuming I'm Zan Azli.
And I'm Michelle Ibsal.
So do we actually say yes or no to watch?
to watch these ads?
Sukati
But we
kau
never
lah.
do this during Chinese New Year ads.
So
What?
Sukati
I mean,
mak
yeah.
bapak kau lah.
Yeah. Our daughter doesn't skip the Watson's ad, but she'll watch it right up to the point where it's like going to be Chinese New Year, right? Then our son will skip the ad for her because he's like done with it and wants to watch his Foo Fighters video.
There are some ads that we did that come on at the beginning of the YouTube videos, but we
Yeah,
cannot
but
say
they're
what
not
it is.
Chinese New Year
And we
ads.
cannot say what it is. So
But they're
because
not
we signed
Chinese New Year
NDA.
ads lah. That's all you need to know. Okay. Happy Chinese New Year.